Several years ago, when I started 80 Proof Goods, I knew one of the first couple of products that I wanted to design and make were notebook covers. And I've never been someone who really likes to write things down, so that was kind of surprising to me that that was one of the things that I wanted to focus on. But thank God that I did, because I started making the large notebooks for like the Moleskine brand, and they were a hit. They weren't necessarily flying off the shelves at first, but over time, as my business's popularity grew, my social media presence grew, and I started to really make a name for the brand, notebook covers became something that people really came after, and they were slowly but surely selling, flying off the shelves. But along the way, one of the most requested items that I got was by far and away an option for A5 notebooks. And I, at the time, being someone who never wrote things down, I never really knew why people cared. I didn't understand why people really were so picky about the size of their notebook or the brand of the notebook that they were writing in, the pen that they were using. I was so completely unaware of the community surrounding these journals, notebooks, whatever you want to call it. I came to find out that bullet journaling was a very popular thing, so as I dove down that rabbit hole, I realized that the LEUCHTTURM A5 notebook is what people wanted, and for a good reason. I found a place that I could order them for my business, and I gave them a shot maybe a year or two ago, and I can tell, man, as soon as you open that notebook, the LEUCHTTURM book, the pages feel high quality, there's different versions, you know, you have ruled, dotted, blank, what have you. The bullet ones that people seem to really love are amazing. So I set off to make these limited edition batches just to kind of test the waters. I wasn't really sure if this was worth the investment. LEUCHTTURM notebooks, if you're familiar with notebooking, journaling, you know, LEUCHTTURM books are some of the higher end, higher quality books, so they're more expensive. And that's an investment. As a business owner, you have to really weigh your options. And the notebooks I've been using up until that point were not cheap, but they were more affordable. They weren't the LEUCHTTURM name brand, but people seemed to like them, so I wasn't sure about this investment. But as time went on, I got the batch in. I did a small batch of English Tan Harvest, limited edition. I think I maybe did 10 or 12 of them, then I did 15, then 25, and they kept selling out. It was amazing. I feel like I unlocked a whole new community that I was not aware of. And if it wasn't for leathercraft, I almost certainly would have never come to meet this community. And again, being someone who doesn't really like to write things down, I've been incredibly inspired to start taking notes, to start a daily to-do task list, things that just help make the workflow more efficient. And I, of course, am someone who, if I'm going to do anything, I want to do it in some sort of style or luxury, or make it personal, personalize it, really put passion into it. And here I am again, making another small batch of LEUCHTTURM A5 notebook covers, one of which I will be using for myself. But this time around, it's not English Tan, it's Evergreen. And Evergreen is also a pull-up leather. It's full grain, and if you're not familiar with pull-up leathers, basically it's got a waxy top layer and oils underneath of that wax. And as the leather creases, you get these beautiful light streaks throughout the leather. And those light streaks come and go over time, so it's constantly changing and evolving its unique character. And the nice thing is, it really does hold its color over time. If you're not someone who likes to see the patina process, someone who orders a notebook or orders a piece of leather and you like what you see and you want to keep that as is for a longer period of time, then typically these pull-up leathers are the way to go. It's not to say that they won't age, but they do stay really true to their color, their original color, what you're seeing here in this video. And this Evergreen has that dark, almost forest green look to it, and then you can see those little blotches of pigment change. And that's where those oils move around underneath of that wax layer. And the wax layer, speaking of which, is extremely forgiving, which is not super common, I'd say, for leather. Leather's one of those materials that when it scratches, it scratches. When you scrape it, when you get a gash in it, it's there and it's showing its mark, and it's gonna hold that mark forever. And the pull-up leathers, because they have that waxy top layer, it's not that they're indestructible, but as it scratches, you can a little bit more easily buff out those scratches, especially minor ones. So there's a little bit of imperfections can come and go, but you can always correct it, give it a fresh coat, a fresh, I like to use leather balm, so you just kind of hydrate it, rehydrate it, and then it's good to go for another couple of months to years, depending how often you use them. Now, this particular option, I decided to pair it with Auburn stitching, and Auburn stitching is one of those stitching colors that matches damn near everything. It's just a classic staple here at 80 Proof Goods. And when I went about choosing the leathers I wanted to work with when starting this business, I spent a lot of time doing some research and development on different leather styles, different leather types, different tanneries, and the handful that I landed on, I'm so happy with. And I did the same thing for stitching colors. Auburn, I think, actually may have been my very, very first stitching color that I chose. And like I said, it's been a staple ever since. It pairs well with every leather color, and to see it on this Evergreen, you kind of get almost like an earth tone vibe. And typically when I do Evergreen, I gravitate a little bit more toward forest green stitching as a monochromatic styling, but this Auburn pops really, really well. This particular cover has, or the style cover I should say, has locking pen loops. So the pen it comes with, you slide it through those loops on the side and it locks the pen or the notebook shut. These are available in a very small batch now. I hope you like it. Subscribe, like, and follow along.